by the way.
Oh, nice.
I didn't.
I'm gonna do that.
We are not going to. We are not going to reveal that until like next week because I'm not going to do mine until tomorrow probably.
How did you even do it so fast?
It's in our text chain. I put it in there.
I didn't see that.
But all right, we are live. We're talking about our brackets for the NFL season. I'm not going to do mine until tomorrow, so we're not going to talk about.
Oh, I found it now. I found it now.
Okay, so with Scoop, Shane, Brandon, and myself, Robert, the best crew in the business as always. How are you all doing?
Good.
Well, Robert, I'm doing great now that you buttered me up like that, calling us the best crew in the business. But
wow,
it is true. It is true. Okay, so before we have a show announcement to reveal before we get into proceedings here. But I also want to ask a question.
Wait, we do?
Yes, I have an announcement.
Oh no, that's already going off the rails. That's
exciting. All right, what's your question?
Okay, so my question is, I don't like how networks do this, and I wonder if you guys like it for the show or not. Because technically, this is our season finale this is technically our season finale, even though, as with other TV networks, we are obviously doing playoff shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you guys like it to call this our season finale? Because I don't like it. We still have a ton more shows left to go.
No,
it's after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Super Bowl. The day after the Super Bowl when we record is, I think, our actual season finale. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So speaking of that, here's our announcement. So our schedule for the playoffs is next Monday after Texans Steelers for wildcard weekend. We're going to be live after that game. Then we're going to be Sunday for divisional, Sunday for conference, and then obviously the Monday after the Super Bowl. In between that, of course, in between the conference and Super Bowl week is what's supposed to be Pro Bowl week, even though they're doing it on a Tuesday for some reason during Super Bowl festivities, which have fun with viewership, ESPN. I'm sorry, but have fun with viewership. So on that week, the week before the Super Bowl, or the weekend, we do our award show. So it's either going to be that Saturday or that Sunday, the 31st or the 1st. But one of the things we really love to do every year, and Brandon's joined me for every single iteration of it, is we like to do a celebration podcast where we watch the Pro Bowl. And we shoot the shit all the time on this show, but that is the ultimate shoot the shit podcast.
Yeah.
For 3 hours, we just talk nonsense, have a good time, do whatever. And I was like, man, I'm so sad we're not going to get to do it this year because it's on a Tuesday and everyone's at work and no one would watch us. And it's just stupid. But then I had an epiphany, which is what we're actually going to do. So on Saturday, the 31st at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we are going to do our celebration show while watching the Senior Bowl, which I think is even better than watching the Pro Bowl because at least we get to talk about some of these prospects. Mm-hmm. We get to prepare for the NFL draft while goofing off to oblivion for 3 hours. So there you go. So we will be live for the Senior Bowl watching that. And then we'll plan closer to the actual weekend of when we're doing the award show. It's either going to be later that Saturday night or Sunday. So just to get that out of the way, we will be live for the Senior Bowl. Watch it on NFL Network and then watch us on the side. Check us out. We're going to have fun. It's literally our most goofy show. We talk about whatever is humanly possible. So I'm glad that we found a way to actually do it, and I think it's even better than years prior.
Didn't one year while we did it, but that's when the Kyrie Irving news broke that he was going to Brooklyn or something like that?
So per tradition, what always happens every year...
Mavericks,
right. No.
Dallas.
I
remember that.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't Brooklyn in June?
Yeah, I was going to say it's the Mavericks, yeah.
So the funny part is in every year that we've done that show, a massive NBA trade happened. So Kyrie to the Mavs, and then last year was Luka to the Lakers. So who knows what might happen in that time. So we'll
Zion.
find out. Zion, maybe. Probably Trae Young. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so
Giannis to Miami. No.
No. Better not.
I was just throwing something random out there.
Okay, before we go, because Scoop is going to give us a lowdown on the coaches, including what's been going on in Atlanta. But before we do that, we got to talk about this Steelers game. And the Ravens being stupid in the final minute and a half, Brandon.
I mean, it's not, it's what I've come to expect from a John Harbaugh-led team over the last, 5-ish years, where it's like, I get the people who, to me, I get people that will say, oh, yeah, it's too risky to run another play there. No, it's not. 14 seconds.
14 seconds, yeah.
14 seconds is and 14 seconds with a timeout. It's not like you have 14 seconds and no timeouts, and the only option you have is to throw the ball to the sideline for another 5-10 yards. You can run a play in bounds, get a little bit closer, and still call the timeout with out of your own discretion. So, it to me, I don't see the purpose in getting a first down there, then basically taking the air out of the ball with 14 seconds, running it down to 2 seconds, and kicking a field goal with a kicker who from 40 plus this year has been terrible. That doesn't make sense to me. You in almost every single, I thought they were going to run one more play after that 1st and 10, because it's like every team. I've never seen a team. I've maybe seen that growing up, teams just maybe used to do that maybe 20 years ago. Not now. Most teams are trying to run another play to see if they can get a little bit closer. I would have, and the thing is, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the game. You have Lamar Jackson. He's smart. He's not going to take a sack there. He's going to throw the ball away if nothing's there. Or he'll figure it out. It's not like you got somebody there back there like Joe Flacco, and you're trying to run another play, and see what happens. I just don't get the philosophy of taking the air out of the ball with 14 seconds left. You could easily run a 5-yard out, make that a 39-yard field goal instead of 44, which makes it a lot. Those 5 yards matter. Makes it a lot easier. Not saying he would have made it, but it makes it easier. You need to maximize the opportunity to win that game there. And by doing what they did, it didn't. You left the door open a crack, and your kicker blew it. So
yeah. Shane, any other thoughts from a coaching perspective on what the Ravens did there?
It was just a lot of coaching mistakes in the last few minutes of that game from both teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you don't, when you get the ball down to that area, you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to throw a pick, you don't want to fumble, something like that. I get that, but when you are in a situation like that where, it's cold, looked like there was maybe a little wind, you want to get the kick as short as possible, especially when you have a rookie kicker who has struggled from long distances, like you were saying, Robert. So, just take the chance and, try to run the ball up the middle, just at least get a few yards. Don't take a knee and lose yards. That's I don't know. I don't really get that, but but yeah. And then going back to, how do you leave Zay Flowers that wide open? It's just
Isaiah Likely as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And for Baltimore defensively too, I understand the corner. What's his name? I can never remember.
Kyle Hamilton, the safety, got hurt. Another one of their corners got hurt.
Yeah. But he tripped or whatever.
Awuzie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he tripped, but it's given the situation they're going to go deep. So why don't you have your free safety back there? Like, it's just stuff like that. It's,
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, if anything, it made for a chaotic and entertaining final few minutes. But yeah, I think ultimately this is why these two teams are where they are, because there's obviously a lot of talent between these two squads, but they are definitely older teams, and and I think just the lack of, I wouldn't say good coaching, but just like inconsistent play calls and play designs from them. It's just, this is kind of what you end up with, like just a couple 8, 9, 10 win teams that, let's be honest, considering the talent they have, probably should have won a lot more. So, yeah.
Oh, like that. Like you're talking about bad play calls. Just this is also a team. Freaking Arthur Smith calling a pitch play at the 2-yard line right before half.
Oh my god! By the way, I'm sorry to spoil Scoop's segment or kind of spoil it. Arthur Smith is going to get head coaching interviews, and
that's not really spoiling anything about my segment.
Anyway,
because that went so well the first time.
Yeah.
I will say there are plenty of guys who, on their first time around, didn't do well head coaching wise, and then got better in the next ones.
True. All right.
Yeah.
Scoop, anything on tonight's game that you want to mention that we haven't yet?
So I mean, nothing that we really haven't covered, and the end of it was just it was a great example, I think, of a game where you didn't really need to see the first 35 minutes of regulation to really feel like you missed a whole lot of what happened, if that makes sense.
True. Yeah.
And a lot of the commotion toward the end, it felt less like we talked about this recently. I don't remember exactly the exact phrasing that we used, but we talked about how there are some games that are super competitive because the teams are equally good, and some that are competitive because the teams are equally bad. This felt like a game.
We basically had a discussion of what makes. We didn't have this discussion on the show, but we basically were trying to debate what's considered boring football versus what's considered boring versus just awful kind of thing. But anyway,
is there a difference between a boring game and a bad game? And basically, I can kind of see where somebody would look at this and say this was not a boring game, but it wasn't a particularly good game either.
Yeah,
because just toward the end of the game, it looked like it wasn't looking like both. First and foremost, I mean, talk about the injury / emotional overlap when you got on both sides of it, where you've got amazing things like TJ Watt having the impact that he did early on, but also seeing somebody Kyle Hamilton go down the way that he did. So obviously hope he's going to be all right long term. And I know the other defensive back about whom you were talking about. Unfortunately, his name's escaping me as well. But it was just not very sound, but a combination of both execution and decision making. It was just odd in both respects, where you've got whether it was not just the usage of the timeouts or that decision. Obviously, it was really weird to see that missed kick not long after we saw the missed kick on the other. But are they putting different footwear on these guys? Because the kicking the past 6 to 8 weeks in NCAA and professional just feels like it's gone down the path. And I am and I'm very confused by why that looks like it's so rampant all of a sudden.
Yeah. We will not talk about the college football playoff today. We unfortunately will not have time. But if you want that coverage, go to What's the Scoop on Thursday. If you want that coverage, we'll take care of you there, at least for this coming week, because we'll talk about the final next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to the coaching, since we're on the Pittsburgh Steelers, we will guess the opening line for these wild card games. We're only going to start with Texans Steelers. So what do you guys have opening line for Texans and Steelers? Actually, this isn't the opening line. It got updated already. But the semi-opening line for Texans at Steelers on Monday night. And yes, we will be live after this game next week. That's our only show next week.
Houston minus 3.5.
I think Houston's defense is going to – people realize how good that defense is, and people know that the Steelers aren't that good. I'm going to say Houston minus 4.5.
Scoop.
I can't believe there's freaking lines out already. So I'm sorry. I need to be reminded that. So the matchup is
Texans at Steelers.
Texans at Steelers.
Yep.
I'll go. I'll go Texans minus 2.
You guys were all very close. It opened at Texans minus 2.5. It is currently Texans minus 3.
Okay.
So there you go. Show of hands really quick. We probably don't need to talk about this game that long. Is there anyone here? Anyone taking the Steelers? Anybody?
Nope.
No.
No. Okay, we can move on. There we go. All right, Scoop, give us the lowdown on what's happening in Atlanta and the rest of the league from a coaching and GM perspective.
Yes. So, in case anybody missed it over the past 6 hours or so, we had the first movements of this current coaching and general manager turnover cycle. It was the Atlanta Falcons moving on from head coach Raheem Morris, and then shortly thereafter, it was announced that Terry Fontenot, their general manager, was also following him out the door. So those moves were announced. There's not been anything else announced by any other team on an official basis. The wide speculation, certainly more speculated than anywhere else, has been that the Las Vegas Raiders will part ways with head coach Pete Carroll after one season, but that has not been officially announced. Tomorrow, the expectation increasingly has been over the past week that the Cleveland Browns will part ways with head coach Kevin Stefanski after 6 years. The expectation is not that they will let go of Andrew Berry, their general manager. He's likely to stay. And then everything else just gets a lot murkier. Quite honestly, you could have told me that those two guys would be the only coaches fired and even left Morris off that list, and I wouldn't have been surprised based on the way that everything had been going down the last few days. But other teams that are being talked about, at least in potentially being worth listening on as about potentially head coach turnover, are teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's some outside discussion about Arizona. There's a lot of belief that that's not going to come to pass, but that's been left open a crack, I guess, in terms of what I heard most recently. And then really the other the other teams really that were being looked at were the two teams playing tonight, the Steelers and the Ravens, because it's been really said that Aaron Glenn, coach of the Jets, is going to be safe. Really surprising to me, but I guess not surprising to other people.
I do want to mention with the Jets that the players love him. The organization believes in him. It would be a mutiny if they fired him. Right as of right now, it would cause more mayhem than is already needed in the New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah, I get it from the players loving him standpoint, and I respect that, but you're a defensive coach and you can't get one interception in 17 games. I mean, that is not a good combination. I'm sorry.
The number is since 1933. I know JD said that interceptions weren't officially set till 1940s. I don't know if they backtracked it or not.
Either way, it's in the NFL record.
Either way, it's been 70 years.
Yeah.
Right. So either way, it's unbelievable.
The Jets have won a title since then.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. Anything else, Scoop, on there? Any GM stuff we need to keep track of?
So the GM stuff, I will say, Chris Ballard, GM of the Indianapolis Colts, come out today that he is back for next season, as is the head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen. Steichen was always expected to be back. Chris Ballard was under a little more uncertainty in reports, but they're both back for next season. Anybody else from the general managers? I mean, Fontenot was kind of almost the most talked about general manager, potentially could have been let go. And then a lot of things. I mean, Chris Greer was already moved out in Miami, so the only question there is who's going to be replacing him. Some people thought that Joe Shane could still be let go in New York. That, to my understanding, is not happening. And really everything else is sort of a 50-50 shot at best, but there's really a lot of people believing that there's going to be less turnover than normal this year. Partly being is that there's just not a ton of the sort of surefire, like there's not a Mike, like as far as coaches concerned, there's not a Mike Vrabel type or a Bill Belichick type where people are looking at this and saying he's a guy with experience that everybody's going to be lining up to hire. Now, if Kevin Stefanski gets hired or fired tomorrow, he could automatically become that guy. He could become somebody. He's somebody that I could see a team that wasn't going to fire their head coach making a decision to say we're going to move off of him to have a shot at going to get Kevin Stefanski. But yeah, I don't expect more than maybe one more team if that to make a GM change. Head coaching changes again. If there's anybody out there that makes a move besides Cleveland and Vegas and maybe one more team, I'd be surprised. And honestly, like I said, I already was somewhat surprised about the Atlanta thing. I really thought that his last few weeks and the fact that they had won some big games this year where they were not favored, I already thought those two things combined were going to really help his case. But evidently the Falcons didn't think the same way.
Yeah.
I would keep an eye on Mike McCarthy too, just in case. I'm not saying he'll get a hire, but I've heard a lot of rumblings that people are interested in Mike McCarthy still. So
while we're talking about former head coaches, I would also add, and this surprises me, but the name once again is coming back. The name that always seems to recircle every five or so years. I have heard John Gruden's name as well.
Yeah, I think he gets interviews this cycle. Shane, anything else there?
I've also seen a few articles of people in the Vegas area saying they are hearing there's interest for them interviewing Clint Kubiak. So
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Rightfully so.
The main thing that I've seen so far with Vegas, again, keeping in mind that Carroll is still at this time under contract, but the combination that keeps coming up that I've been reading about is the eyeing of Brian Flores as head coach with potentially bringing Brian Daboll with him as OC.
Right, which is Tom Brady's wish apparently at this time.
That feels like a weird combo to me, though.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't know.
That doesn't work.
I don't
think.
Yeah. Other things. Atlanta will be hiring Matt Ryan to a senior position somewhere within the organization. It is not GM, which means that there is an open slot at CBS at the NFL Today desk. So we'll see what happens there. Mostly not just the NFL Today desk, but the Plus show that they have, the early pregame. So we'll see what they do there.
So what I'm hearing is one of us. One of us.
Yes,
goes.
I wish so.
Yeah.
But also,
can I add one last thing, Robert?
Yes, please.
Last thing I was going to say with regard to the coaching thing, there are still still some belief that a team that's not currently out of the playoffs, if they go one and done, could be a team to create a coaching vacancy that doesn't currently exist. The teams that are most discussed about in that regard, the Buffalo Bills with Sean McDermott. Again, the winner of tonight's game, Pittsburgh, I still think you'd put that in that category. I would also add, which I wouldn't have originally put in the group, but I have now over the last few days kind of become, believing that it could be something that happens. Green Bay with Matt LaFleur.
Yes, because they're interested in Stefanski. Wildly interested in him. Is Dave Canales in that group at all by chance?
Not to me. I mean, quite honestly, to me, it's impressive that they kind of turned themselves upward to the point where they did. Now, again, I know that they still have a ways to go, but I mean, this is a team that, what did they win last year? Like 3 games, I think it was, something like that.
3 or 4.
So, yeah. So I still think you have to look at Canales over the past 2 or so years and think he's been a net positive over. And because again, this was not a team that was like, oh, they've got some nice pieces to work with. They're 1 or 2 tweaks away with a good coach from being a Super Bowl contender. This team had so much more work to do than that. This was not a quick turnaround type of thing to begin with. So I think you've got to look through that contextually when you look at someone like Dave Canales. I think he was closer this year to COTY votes than he was to getting fired.
Oh yeah. I would agree with that. Okay, continuing with Atlanta. Atlanta has done something really weird.
What else?
That makes me quite uncomfortable. They have hired 2 consulting firms.
Yep.
One does the head coaching job, and the other one does the GM job. So 2 separate consulting firms for 2 separate jobs, which I've never seen happen before.
Why?
That's incredibly stupid. Yeah, I have no idea. It's
what that
so
tells
dumb.
me? Oh my God, our process that got us Raheem Morris last time effed up so bad. I don't trust us to do either one of these things.
I mean, I don't trust the franchise that employed Arthur Smith as head coach and then followed it up with Raheem Morris. So
Yeah.
I don't trust that at all.
I don't trust their search at all at that point. And then, of course, Troy Aikman joins the search party for the Dolphins' next general manager. For the Dolphins. He will only be there until they hire a GM. So once they hire, unless they want to do something with him moving forward, once they hire a GM, he will be gone. He is only a consultant for this short period of time. So that's there as well. All right. And then we now go to Brandon and Scoop double teaming with their worst coaches list. Brandon, I'm going to start with you since you always have funny names that make us cackle over this. So please go ahead. What is the name of your list? Who's on it? Go for it. And their nicknames, of course.
So, this year, there wasn't any particular, I guess, it'll never be as, put it this way, it'll never be as creative as the Canadian provinces thing with Matt Canada. But I feel sorry for those listening that missed that because that was an awesome year. That list was great.
Please tell me Kevin Patullo is on this list.
I only did head coaches. I didn't do anything else.
Coordinators.
Okay, but I absolutely would have. But then the thing is, I would have railroaded the whole segment just by talking about him. Yeah. But we've talked about so many names on here. Obviously, like we know that some of them are coming back, some of them might not. But at the time I made this list, these were all the guys that were in flux.
Right, and that's why I asked you to do it now. Because we wanted to see how many of these guys are getting fired or will get fired or already have in this case.
And he's gone.
Oh no.
I thought it was me at first.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Goodbye.
No.
No.
Damn
okay,
it.
wait. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear him.
Yes.
Don't see him.
Yeah, fix your camera.
I'm not quite sure as to why. Hold on.
He's a ghost.
I'm not quite.
Yay!
I'm not quite sure as to why this is the second show in a row it's did it. And the computer before. Now remember, the computer before the last show. The problem was when I made the screen when I minimized it and made our faces bigger on my screen, it would stop working, and that's how I would cut out before. Now, after it stopped doing that because I left it in the regular in the app Millions app. Now the computer is forming a mutiny against me, and now it's just shutting off whenever it feels like it in the middle of a show. So this computer is literally on its last legs. I need one for my birthday.
It's the second time we've used the word mutiny on this show tonight.
It is. It's the mutiny episode.
I mean, but my God, we're getting so close to the robot takeover, and my computer is now disobeying me.
Your computer is the lead of it.
But
it's like AI. No, Brandon's computer. Yes. Okay.
So
okay.
The list.
Go for your list. What is the name of it? Start there and then go down.
So I think I gave you the name of it, Rob. I can't remember if I did. I think I texted you.
Yes, you did. No, you texted you. I don't think you texted me you did text me the name. Do you want me to say it?
No, I found it. Yeah. So okay. This list, because the biggest failure of this year, I think, as a head coach. Well, we knew he was kind of going to fail, but just also he's too old for this job. Pete Carroll was the first one on the list, so I called this list Carroll, Confusion, and Chaos. Just triple C.
I like it.
So for Pete Carroll, I called him Pete Father Time Carroll, and I think that's obvious because. Right. The game's passed him by. We said that with him. We said it with Bill Belichick in the past.
We said it with Carroll when he was on his last legs in Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's time. It's time, Pete. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for a Hall of Fame career in both college and pro.
But it's time. It's been well past time. Now. Next one is controversial, but his name was brought up in head coaching searches, pretty much, or head coaching discussions, hot seat discussions, as recently as a few days ago, until they have eventually, I think they said that they were going to bring him back anyway. This one's a little bit, some people might agree, may disagree, but I think he's on there because I don't like his play calling or his offensive scheme. But Zach Taylor, and Zach Taylor's been on this list before. I've called him
with the same nickname.
Because you know why? It's too good for me to pick anything else for him. Even though he doesn't run this play anymore, I've still seen him run it. He's run this play with I think T. Higgins this year, so he still does do it. So I call him Zach wide receiver pass Taylor, because that just seems to be one of his favorite plays to run every year at the most random points. Next one, Scoop and I hate him for good reason. But at the same time, he's still coming back for at least I think they said all indications were that he was coming back for next year. I don't know why, because the guy is a moron. Jonathan, Sandwich Motivator.
Oh,
again.
Yeah. Sandwich Motivator!
Yeah. So, yeah, because honestly, when a guy can't motivate me to get out of bed in the morning and make myself breakfast or a sandwich, and the guy has the personality of a doorknob, I can't. I would not want to play for a coach like that. And on top of that, he's willing to fight his players on the sideline. He punched DeMarcado in the chest after he fumbled the ball this year.
That's right. He did that earlier this year.
I don't even remember that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was like a month and a half back or so.
I can't, and this guy prides himself on defense. That defense isn't great. I mean, listen, does he have a lot to work with? No. Although he has a former player from his defense playing on that team. He has Josh Sweat. But I just don't.
And he's had a good year, by the way. Sweat is probably the only guy who's had a good year.
That.
Yeah. But Jonathan Gannon just can't. The guy does nothing well. He's not a motivator. The worst part is you can get away with not being an X's and O's guy if you're a good motivator. So if you're like a Dan Campbell, that you can get away with it. But Jonathan Gannon shows up and it's he says, "Oh, how many of you drove here? Raise your hands." What? Like that's how you open up your first like addressing the team in their first like
It
you
sounds
know
like it sounds like a substitute teacher thing where like they
because
just
that's
Yeah.
what it sounded like, Scoop. That's what it was. Like so, I had to call him that. So I call him Sandwich Motivator because he couldn't motivate me to make a sandwich. Next one.
now I could go for a sub right now.
Oh, believe me, I could too. I haven't. Listen, I didn't eat much all day.
oh my god! Wait, that reminds
I
me.
crushed that Philly cheesesteak, but that was like 6 hours ago.
By the way, that reminds me. The NFL honors this year is presented by Jersey Mike's.
Oh, good. Love it.
So that's pretty great. All right, continue, Brandon.
So this one we've known all year, but he's gonna probably come back. I think they said that all indications were he was gonna come back also. But Scoop, this is for you, Mike Scoop.
I as soon as you said my name, I knew it was a big.
Well,
Wait,
wait a
Mike
minute.
Scoop who? Mike McDaniel. Got it.
I've
McDaniel.
but I've got a second nickname for him too. Mike French Inhale McDaniel. So,
French
so-
inhale.
I don't even know what that
Wait.
means.
It's
It's a vape joke.
Coke.
Smoking
it's a vape
joke.
joke.
Oh,
Smoking joke.
So because that's a trick people do with the smoke. It's the French inhale. So I don't smoke. Don't take that the wrong way. I don't do anything like that. But at the same time, I thought
No, but also we have a segment called the Pot Cookies Game of the Week.
and yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. So that needs no explanation. And the Scoop thing, Scoop's called. He's talked about how K&K refers to him as Mike McDaniel. So
I don't see it. I still don't see it. I see some of it, I don't see it.
Yeah, I can see with your glasses on, but not
Yeah.
like not too much.
So I'll say this: these glasses are somewhat new. They're about 6. I got them about 6-7 months.
God damn it.
Again.
I got them. I got them at the beginning of the summer. The glasses that I had before this, I could definitely see it more than I can with these. And also the way my hair used to be. My hair is like longer in the front than it used to be, and the way my hair. So I could see it a little more then than I could now. I still never agreed with it, but I could agree with it more then than I could now. Now is not how I looked when they told me that.
Scoop, you just made me upset. You just said you got new glasses over the summer, but you never bothered to think while picking the glasses, will these glasses make me look more or less like Mike McDaniel? Because I honestly think that these new glasses make you look like Mike McDaniel a lot more. And I'm upset that you didn't bother to think about that while you were picking glasses. You were picking glasses and you didn't think, hey, I might look like Mike McDaniel wearing these. I should probably not pick them.
now you just have to find a Samoan guy to kiss on the head.
Oh, I mean, halfway there.
Oh my god! All right,
Yeah. So we got
continue on McDaniel.
So-
Why'd you pick
well-
McDaniel?
Well, so we're halfway through this list. But Mike McDaniel, we had those head coaching concerns halfway through. They did turn it around, and now it seems he's coming back. But still, at the time, it's still. So the next one on the list is self-explanatory. We've talked about him 1,000 times. It looks like he's going to leave, and I personally believe this. This isn't really a funny nickname. This is just what I believe. Kevin Scapegoat Stefanski. Stefanski's not the problem in Cleveland.
No,
No, not at all.
You're a 2-time coach of the year, and you dragged crap to the playoffs. You're not the problem.
you almost got to the playoffs with 87-million-year-old Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
and you managed to make your team not abhorrent
Yeah.
when you were paying the biggest contract in history that's guaranteed entirely to Deshaun Watson, who not for 1 minute of his time as a Cleveland Brown was the best quarterback on the Cleveland Browns.
I will also add that Deshaun Watson is fully healthy and has an opportunity to win that job in training camp, even with how good Sanders has looked, which he's looked pretty solid. He absolutely has an opportunity to win that job back. So there you go.
It's insane.
I still hey, let's try that again. I still think that if it's a truly open thing, I still think Dylan Gabriel has a chance to at least be the backup next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think for sure. I'm just saying there is a real reality that whoever the next head coach is for Cleveland, Deshaun Watson plays well, which he won't because he's terrible. But if he does, he's going to win that job, and it's going to piss everyone off beyond belief. Anyway,
and
continue, Brandon.
then two rookie quarterbacks are stuck in limbo.
Yeah,
So like
two rookie quarterbacks who are pretty
wins.
productive.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
So no one wins there. So that's great job, Cleveland. Great job.
Yeah, no, seriously. Oh, and by the way, the guy that you wanted to get rid of because you needed an adult in the room was just fighting for a playoff spot right to the last day of the season.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Oh my god. Yeah. So the next one on the list, we've talked about him, and we all kind of know how we feel about him. Raheem Jeff Fisher Morris. I think that's self-explanatory.
Jeff Fisher is apt. And really quickly, I'll explain why.
That's what I said in the group chat earlier.
No, that is what you said in the group chat earlier. I found, and I get not all of this is with Raheem Morris, but I did find the Falcons' record since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this? This is great. 2018, 7-9. 2019, 7-9. 2020, 4-12. 2021, 7-10. 2022, 7-10. 2023, 7-10. 2024, 8-9. 2025, 8-9. Literally,
Jeff Fisher.
Literally Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, just Jeff Fisher with extra steps because I don't count 2020 because nobody knew what was going on that year.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know what it is too. It's like I look at Raheem Morris too. I put a slash in there because if you want to use this other nickname, you can. Just too late, Raheem. Too late, Morris. This team, like under him, every time the season is basically over, then they decide to start trying. It's like where was that in the first half of the season? Where was that?
Before you continue, Brandon, I have a really fun stat that Scoop will love about the Panthers. Are you ready for this? The Panthers. This is a real stat. The Panthers. Rawr! The Panthers.
No, don't make that sound ever again, please. Don't you dare make that sound.
I'm just saying that's what their thing is. They do a roar.
You're just roaring XD'd me. You're going back to 2008.
All right. So the Panthers had a minus 69. Yes, minus 69.
Nice.
Point differential this season. 23rd in the entire league, by the way.
That's insane.
What's sad to me is that 9 teams were worse.
The only playoff teams with a lower point differential. The 2004 Rams at minus 73. The 2011 Broncos at minus 81.
They were bad.
And the 6-10, or I think it was 6-10 or 7-9 playoff team that won the NFC West, Seattle Seahawks, was minus 97.
How the hell is that possible?
When you said the 2011 team, I was like, "There's no way that you just skipped over the 2010 Seahawks." I was like, "That's
No. The 2010 Seahawks had a minus 97 differential, and you know what makes that amazing? They beat the Saints, who the year prior won the Super Bowl. Because of Marshawn Lynch, which Shane, I know that we adore that moment so much.
Wow,
in our local area.
Yeah, it's just very interesting to think that you've got Marshawn Lynch on one side, you've got the freaking oh man, what's the name of the defensive coordinator who was there in New Orleans?
I don't remember. The guy who said smoke Kaepernick's legs.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
What was his name?
Oh wait, was it Greg Williams?
Yeah,
Williams.
Greg
Thank
Williams,
you.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got
Excuse
Marshawn Lynch on one side. You got Greg Williams on the other, and they're
Excuse
both
me, guys,
beasts,
sorry.
and they're bless you, and they're both beasts for two different reasons.
I don't want to mute myself when I sneeze because muting is really weird on this site, so I apologize. Here's the
I
kicker
still
about
remember that beast quake. Like,
yeah.
man.
We had a small
I-
earthquake today in Seattle.
I
It's really
grew
the
some
greatest run
hairs.
ever.
I grew some hair on my chest watching that run.
All right, Scoop. I just read you the stat. Do you want to know the punchline of this stat?
Please.
Here's the punchline. Each of the previous 3 teams that I mentioned have won in the wild card round.
Oh my lord!
So there you go. So then
Well-
the Panthers are in a good territory.
Well, it's and who are the Panthers playing? Remind me.
They are playing the Los Angeles Rams.
I
again.
swear. Oh my god! I swear to God.
Well, okay, so that's not who I thought was like the quote unquote favorable matchup for them, but they beat them earlier this season. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, I know. All right, Brandon, continue. We'll get to the game
So-
shortly.
So we've got.
I
three
just had
more
to read that.
coaches.
I just had to read that stat because I blew my gasket reading that.
We've got- So there's 3 more coaches on the list, and 2 of them played tonight. Mike, even though this is not true tonight because he just won, but it was still garbage in the way that they won. Mike, Mr. 500 Tomlin, because that team is always guaranteed to go 9-8, 8-9, and either just make or just miss the playoffs. Hey, you got
Mostly
10
make.
wins. You got 10 wins, but you did it in the most backdoor fashion possible. It was on a missed field goal. So
After your guy just missed one himself.
yeah, after they just missed an extra point. Like, you literally
Yeah,
could
that-
not have back. That is so Mike Tomlin. It's not even funny. So, yeah. So, I don't care that he won 10 games. He's still Mr. 500. That's still not – because they still shouldn't have won. It's incredible how that man manages to turn in 9-8, resumes every year, and somehow they get in. Or just miss. They just miss well enough to warrant giving him another year. So
You know what it is? It's like if you have like a teacher that will like curve the grade and like they curve you just close enough to a C, and that's how you pass every single year of high school.
oh yeah,
It's so true.
That's basically what it is.
I just had this thought because I know Scoop has discussed this in the past about Mike Tomlin's potential future, whether that's on CBS, some other network, whatever. I just figured something out that I think is important. If Aaron Rodgers returns next season, he's going to want Mike Tomlin as his head coach because he'd love playing for him this year.
Well, unless they lose in like a bad way in the first week, I think that getting to the playoffs, especially if they win at least one game, I think that Tomlin has a much better chance of being the Steelers coach next year than he did. I think that, I mean, and people were saying, as crazy as it sounded, people were saying like it really comes down to who loses the game tonight. Now, all of a sudden, John Harbaugh. Why can I not say this?
You'll get there. You'll
really?
get there.
John Harbaugh's future.
It's not coming to you, is it?
Harbaugh!
John
Har and then Baugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
Yeah.
Oh my god.
that leads me into what my nickname for him is, and
At
Scoop.
least it's not Scootaba.
It's
Scuba.
Scuba diver.
it leads me into that. But John perfectly, and tonight was the perfect example of it. So I hit the nail on the head with this nickname. Not hard, but I nailed it. Not Harbaugh.
Not hardball. Hardball. Damn it.
But I nailed it on this one. John coaching confusion Harbaugh, because he said a couple weeks ago, I should have left Derrick Henry in, or no, he said Derrick Henry should have been in on the last drive of the game. That's your call, moron. What the hell?
No. It wasn't just the last drive of the game. It was the whole fourth quarter that he was upset about himself for.
Oh my god!
Also, I feel like I feel like a curse sometimes because I literally said, like 2 minutes before this game ended, I said something along the lines of, like, it's so perfect that a play on special teams is what's going to keep a special teams coach or get him to the playoffs. And then it was a damn missed kick that
And
left
then-
You also said Mike Tomlin, welcome to television.
Yeah.
3 minutes left
Yeah,
in the
that was-
game.
I mean, it should have been if they ran another play with 14 seconds left instead of taking the air out of the damn ball for your crappy kicker.
And I said to you guys, is it possible we're watching the last drive of Aaron Rodgers' career? Nope.
Nope, not yet. Not yet. We'll wait another week.
Oh my god!
The jinxing is real. Is that it for your list, Brandon?
There's one more.
Yeah.
And it's you know, it's the most NFC South thing to ever occur. You know, Bucks fans treated that game like it was a playoff game, and rightfully so. It's for your season, but you didn't control your own destiny. So you won the game, but you lost the war. and unfortunately, what that gets you is what it gets me to is Todd Bowles. And what a perfect name for this man. I could have said that he too is Jeff Fisher, because speaking of 8 and 9, that man is also 8 and 9. He kind of fits in with the whole Raheem Morris
I think
thing.
Atlanta is the better pick. I just
but
outlined why it's better.
Atlanta makes sense. But
Todd Consolation Bowls.
so no,
Yes,
Todd,
that's a good one.
but mine was Todd never making Super Bowls.
Except he did win one as a D coordinator.
Yeah,
Brady.
but I'm saying as a head coach, no. He's just not it. Listen, I get people like him, but his defenses have gotten worse every year as a head coach, and a lot of that is just him. And the guy just doesn't know really how to manage injuries well either. So I can't look at him and go, oh, that's a good coach. It's like, no, he's good enough to just hang around and maybe warrant another year, but you can't keep going 8 and 9 and 9 and 8, whatever it is, and hoping you win the division and all this stuff. It just doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I want to quickly say this because I think that I had somewhat of an epiphany as well with this, watching that game on watching the Saints game. I saw all these Falcons fans at bars or not Falcons fans. I saw a lot of Bucks fans at bars and Saints fans at bars being all like, oh my God, we're getting to root for other teams and this is great and whatever. And they're partying and whatever. And just, and I'm just like, if I was a fan of the Bucks or the Panthers, I would be so fucking angry, excuse my language, at both of these teams for not controlling your destiny. I would be so freaking mad that I wouldn't even care.
It's one thing if the Panthers just would have won the damn game, then you would have just it wouldn't have mattered at all the way around. But because they backdoored their way to a division title.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
And the best part is it's not 9 and 8; it's 8 and 9. It's under 500. So
like the Seahawks, except a little better. Scoop, is anything different on your list? Any other ones that you want to add?
I mean, well, excuse me, sorry. I do also want to just clarify because that segment was kind of let in with the, the introduction of being the quote unquote worst coaches. That wasn't really what I was looking at. I was just looking at the coaches I thought were on the hot seat.
Okay, that's fine. So, is there any that you would like to add that is important?
All these ones were on the hot seat, but I'm sure you have a couple others. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, hang on, I'm trying to get the app back. I don't know why my app of millions is missing in action.
We can still see you, so you're okay.
Found it. Okay. But yeah, so basically, and it's largely the same list that I went through in the beginning, but again, I thought that Aaron Glenn was going to be under more scrutiny than apparently he is. I never knew this season what to make of Mike McDaniel. One minute it sounds like he's got one foot out the door. The other minute it sounds like, oh, everybody loves him and they want to keep him. I also thought that since they already had moved off of Chris Grier, and it appears like they're going to move off of Tua Tagovailoa, because I saw that they were doing those two things, I just thought making all three changes wholesale simultaneously made the most sense. But it does appear they're running it back with him. I would not move off of Kevin Stefanski if I'm Cleveland. I think that's a massive mistake. I think he's one of the few things that are actually functioning very well in that organization. So that's not a move I would have made. Again, it hasn't been officially made, just proves like it's going to, but again, not something I would have done. And I think it's just another classic example of Jimmy Haslam thinking that he knows more about football than he does, and being too heavy-handed when he doesn't need to be, and being too just completely missing in action at the things that he actually should be involved in. But so there was all of there, those kind of were the East and the North ones that I had. The South, I really didn't have anybody. There's not really any, because the only team that I thought made sense to potentially let go of already fired their coach, and that was Tennessee. And I don't think anybody expects Mike McCoy to be the long-term head coach there. And then, going to the West, I may be in the minority on this. The Raiders thing has just looked so weird to me from the beginning, because it looks weird to me to fire Pete Carroll, but then you start and go on and you look at what actually happened this year with reports that he was, ousting guys, but also hiring like his own family to like be in positions and one thing or another. Like, just that whole thing was so weird, and I can't believe I even said this once, and I really can't believe I'm going to say it again, but it's the truth. I genuinely think they would have been better off promoting Chip Kelly. I genuinely believe that. I think that they could not have been worse promoting Chip Kelly, at least as the head coach. But then on the NFC side of things, again, the one that I think didn't get as much talk as I thought it could at times was Dan Quinn in Washington. I thought there were times where it just looked like it was going bad enough that I thought it could call things into question. But I think he got some grace for the fact that he kind of helped oversee the delivery, or the development rather, of Jaden Daniels last year, obviously before he went down earlier this season. But again, they were talking about some of the numbers in that game that was played today between them and Philly. They were talking about some numbers about how they're like one of the most penalized teams, one of the most injured teams, like all these other things. And I was just thinking to myself, that just does not smell like a well-oiled machine over there. Mm-hmm. But again, alas, doesn't even appear that that's going to. Now, again, what happens with Cliff Kingsbury will be interesting to me. I assume he's going to get head coaching opportunities, and we'll see if that goes anywhere, and we'll see if it doesn't. We'll see if they make a change regardless. And then continuing to go on, AFC or NFC North, I don't really see anything that I would do up there. I'm not getting rid of Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. I still would run it back with Matt LaFleur, but I can see where the arguments start to come in if they really just don't do anything in the playoffs this year. Because again, as I said about Jordan Love in my comments, I frankly thought his conversation deserved to be right up there with Matt Stafford and Drake May for MVP. I did.
Yeah.
And
I hear that.
Pringles, do you mind? And then the last two divisions, NFC South, we've already talked about NFC South ad nauseum. NFC West, I've said it before. I know it's not the most popular. Well, first we'll talk about John Gannon. I absolutely think he should be on the list, and he was one of the last two that I have here. And please don't hurt yourself. And I am really surprised, honestly, that he's gotten so much reported pull to stay in Arizona for another season. That just really surprises me. I don't really know what he's got. Like, I don't know what sort of goodwill he's built up over there.
How do you punch a player on the sideline and come back for another year?
Sorry?
How do you punch a player on the sideline and come back for another year?
Well, that's just it. I mean, but also I start thinking about, I mean, if you look back, those NFL report card Players Association things they do every year?
And the NFL is trying to sue them to stop doing that, and they're all like D's for Arizona.
But if you look at those things, every year, one of the owners who I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, who's always ranked at the bottom, is Bidwell, the owner of
that's what I'm saying. All their facilities are like a D. Everything's a D. Owners a D. Everything's a D.
So I'm just wondering, if the fact that they've gotten Jonathan Gannon there, who's somewhat by some people a respected coach, I just wonder if they're like, well, if he makes mistakes, then it takes the light off of the ownership in front office. I don't know if that's the case, but only thing I can come up with there. And then the last one, I'm sorry, until I feel like he's actually gone all the way in the playoffs and actually cemented the 9th, 10th, and 11th chances I feel like he's gotten, because I feel like he's gotten a lot more chances than most coaches who have been billed as, such a great offensive mind. I'm going to have to say it one more time, Kyle Shanahan. I need to see Kyle Shanahan do something this playoff. If they go one and done, I know it's the defense that's screwed up, but if they go one and done, to me that's a terrible look for Kyle Shanahan, who's supposedly one of the, I keep hearing his name with Sean McVay. I keep hearing his name with Andy Reid. They got rings.
Scoop, I'll be honest, he's probably my vote for Coach of the Year, though. So you can't get rid of him. He's at least a nominee for Coach of the Year. Kyle Shanahan's a Coach of the Year nominee.
I think Liam Cohen's got a better case.
No, but what I'm saying is at least he's a nominee because look at what he's done with the roster.
Yeah.
So, you can't fire a Coach of the Year nominee. No. You can't.
This again. Let me rephrase. This is not what I think is going to happen. That was earlier. This is personally the guys that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking, I got to at least take a closer look at this guy. And I don't know. I've seen Shanahan do less with more too many times.
I do think that's fair. I do
agree with you with Shanahan. I think he's insanely overrated, personally.
Yeah.
But when I look at the other guys that are potentially available right now, I'm like, who are you really realistically going to get that's better than him at the moment?
And I think that's part of why. I think that's a big part of why the number of changes that we thought could be made versus the number that's actually going to be made. I think that's why you're seeing such a disparity. Because again, like we said before, there's not that Mike Vrabel, that supposedly Bill Belichick. There's not that Ben Johnson, if you want to look at offense. Like there's not those just guys sitting out there waiting to be gobbled up. Pause.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Shane, on the coaches that you want to mention?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like we covered it all for the most part. Yeah. I do wonder if the Chiefs next year have another crappy year, if Andy Reid will be on the hot seat.
Andy Reid will retire. That's what's going to happen.
Probably. Yeah. I would think he retires first.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen with Pete Carroll tomorrow. Pete Carroll's just going to say, I'm retired. They're not going to fire a guy who's that popular.
Yeah.
I will say, if John Harbaugh if they part ways, because he's been there for 18 years, and because of the fact that he's got the success that he's had there in the past, I think that's what you'd see with him too. I think it's going to be he's stepping away for a year, like a Sean Payton thing that happened with the Saints.
Yeah, and I think you could probably say the same
for Pete Carroll.
Yeah, that's what happened with Pete Carroll too. We're parting ways. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's we're almost done because I just want to run through these playoff games really quick, make our picks, do the lines, and then go to what I keep forgetting. It's Children of Men. Right? Children of Men. I always mix up if it's Men of Children or Children of Men. Jesus. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Rams at Panthers. Guess the line. I'll tell you what this opened as, but guess what it is currently.
It should be a high freaking line, but it's a playoff game, so it probably won't be.
I'll say Rams minus 5.5.
I was going to go one higher. I'll say Rams minus 6.5.
I was going to go the other way. I'll say Rams minus 4.5.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys are off your rocker. It's Rams minus 9.5.
Oh, whoa. Oh, I'm smashing the Panthers on that one.
I figured it would be high, but Jesus.
And it's the highest line of the weekend. And by the way, it opened at Rams minus 10.
Oh my God.
And Scoop, as you've mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned, I think you did at some point earlier in the show, the Panthers beat them already.
Yeah,
And
I
the
did
Rams
mention
suck in the
that.
AFC South. So, like, the Panthers do have a legitimate shot to win this. I don't think any of us are picking it, but they
No.
definitely do.
No, I could see it though.
I could
Yeah.
absolutely see it.
I would
Nine-
not be surprised.
Nine
if
and
they
a
won.
half is outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, Scoop? I mean, the Panthers have a legitimate shot. This is not as this is not as lopsided as it looks.
Yeah, I mean, the team that I would have potentially picked them over would have been San Francisco, but looking at them and again, because of their defense, it just I struggle to see that defense winning against mostly anybody. I don't know, but anyway, that's a different question. But
Right.
no, it's regardless of what you. And I made this point in the power rankings as well. I don't mean to keep plugging the power rankings, but
No, you
I made
can.
this point. I made this point in there as well, where they didn't just quote unquote make it because of they're the division winner, so they get in by default. They were still one of the top 7 by just pure ranking teams in the NFC. They were good enough to be in the playoffs, whether they were the division winners in the NFC South or not. So it's just I think that people are not taking them seriously enough. I don't think this is a team that goes and wins 3 playoff games, but to eke away 1 win, especially if the Rams look, we'll say, vulnerable like they have at times the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think we're all taking the Rams, though, right? We're not taking the risk
yeah.
on Carolina.
Yeah.
To be determined.
To be determined. Okay, I like it.
That's respectable.
Packers at Bears, one of the most fun matchups of the year, all year long. We get it again. By the way, Rams-Panthers on Fox on Saturday. You'll see Greg Olson call his former team in a playoff game.
Don't eat those are poisonous.
Oh, my God. He's eating poisonous stuff now? Jesus.
Bear. Before we even finish that, Bears -3. That's what I think it is.
I was just gonna say that too. I'll say Bears minus 2.5.
Yep. Bears are at home.
Okay, so wait, hang on. Bears versus whom?
Packers. And
Bears
it's
versus
in
Packers.
On Prime Video.
It's a little more. I'm gonna go Bears minus 4.5.
Again, off your rocker. Packers minus 1.5.
What the?
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's actually weird because I figured Vegas would be still on the Bears high. Like they've
Not
been.
only that, but like, have the Packers? Have I not been looking? And the Packers got drastically healthy in the last 5 minutes.
They have
They're
actually.
gonna get Jordan Love back.
They're gonna get everyone
Jordan
back
Love.
next. They're gonna get everyone back next week because they rested everybody this week.
Well, not Kraft
yeah.
and Parsons.
Not Kraft, and the other
Everyone
guy.
else.
But yeah, everyone else is gonna be healthy. Scoop. So yeah, they are.
Well,
they did get healthy in 5 minutes.
Well, no, I knew about Love, but I'm thinking, like Love was far from their only injury either.
Yeah, but except not career ending, except end of season injuries. Yeah, everyone else is gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
I have to
whole
double
roster's
check because
healthy.
I have to double check because I genuinely don't remember which ones were which.
Because Parsons, Kraft, and the other tight end are out for the year.
Yeah.
Everyone else is going to be healthy, presumably. So the Packers did get massively ill.
I'm still taking the Packers in that game because if Malik Willis can put up a fight against the Caleb Williams-led Bears team, and Jordan Love beat Caleb Williams out, like Caleb was do that pick in the end zone, and I believe in Green Bay, and Jordan Love was the winner in that game, I'm taking Jordan Love and the Packers.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay.
I am also taking Green Bay as we get a Pringles. The Pringles looks like she's also taking Green Bay. Scoop, are you joining your cat and taking Green Bay?
You said game's in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't realize that many players were returning because I originally was going to take Chicago. I might switch now to Green Bay.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think we're all taking Philly. Are we?
Yeah, I am.
Yep, we're all taking. Oh my god! Oh my god! This cat loves some Philly. Okay, please move your cat off the screen.
I'm trying. You just bit me. Did you not see that?
Jesus. I love your cat, but this is too much Pringles.
This
It's not biting me. Let go. You can't take my laptop with you.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we're all taking Philly. Here's the line, or guess it. It's not what it opened as, but I think this is the first time we actually guessed an Eagles line because you guys haven't seen it yet.
Philly minus 6.5.
it should be, but I don't think it is. I'll say Philly. I'll say Philly minus 4.5.
Scoop.
Sorry. I still think that. I mean, some of these lines have been absolutely unhinged, so it's probably more than. What the hell was that? What was that noise?
I have no idea. You're good.
Oh, I just don't know where that music is coming from. But sorry. I don't know. I'll go Philly minus 3.5.
That's exactly what it is. Good job.
Wow.
Philly minus 3.5. That is on Fox to open up Sunday. KB and Tom Brady on the call.
Oh, that's what it is. The movie started playing again somehow.
Yeah. All right. Bills at Jaguars on CBS. Actually, no, that is the opener. My bad. Bills at Jaguars is the opener. Then Niners Eagles. My apologies. Bills and Jaguars open up Sunday on CBS and I believe Nickelodeon. If you're interested in the kids broadcast as I am, I would love that.
I still can't believe that's a real thing.
Yeah, I want to see SpongeBob. I want to see SpongeBob do a commentary of this game. Let's have it. Maybe.
I don't know if Vegas believes in the Jags like we all do. I think they want to just completely just kiss Josh on the lips.
Are we all taking Jacksonville?
I am.
Yeah.
Shane, you are?
Yeah.
Yep, same here. Good. Okay. Guess the line.
I'm trying to think like Vegas would. I mean, I'd be surprised if Vegas took Jacksonville, but then
I'll say Jacksonville minus 1.5.
Yeah, I don't think it's high. Yeah, I don't think it's high. I'm still gonna say I'll still say Jacksonville. But I'll say Jacksonville minus 2.5.
Scoop.
I said. Well, I said that I was taking Jacksonville, but like you said, Brandon, you got to think like Vegas would. I'll go I'll go Jacksonville minus 2.5.
Okay, same as me.
This line is incredibly weird because on the money line, the Jags are favored minus 102. But the spread is Buffalo minus 1.5.
That's what I kind of figured.
So that's kind of interesting. Are we all taking the Patriots at home against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football on the road. Josh Herbert.
Yeah.
Wow. Justin Herbert. No, thank you.
All right. Sunday Night Football, Chargers, Patriots. We're all taking the Pats. We're pretty much in lockstep all the way through here, as expected. Guess the line for our last official Sunday Night Football.
That should be Pats minus 5.5.
I'll say Pats minus 7.5.
I'll say Pats minus 9.5.
Patriots minus 3.5. Somehow, some way.
Well, the Patriots don't blow anybody out. That's why, and their schedule has been easy. So,
yeah.
I keep missing these by a mile.
This, by the way, the fact that we're doing this when this opens doesn't help. But regardless.
No.
All right, Shane. This, in my opinion, is the best movie you picked all year. I love this thing. I can't wait to talk about it. And I'm so mad that you saved this until week 18. I'm so upset. Children of Men.
Save the best for last.
Save the best for
you
last.
you got to go out with a banger.
Yeah, and by the way, during the playoffs, we are taking over. I am going wild card weekend. I don't know who's going next, but yeah, we take over. The other guys take over here. But Shane, you finished off with a banger. Go ahead, Children of Men.
Yeah. So in 2017, when I was finally allowed to purchase games that were rated M. True story. I picked up The Last of Us. And I played it and loved it, and I was like, wow, it's one of the most incredible, beautiful, stories I've ever experienced. So I was reading more about that game and kind of the writing and the story influences behind it. And one of the things that the writer Neil Druckmann kept citing was the movie Children of Men. And so I thought, okay. So then I checked that movie out maybe a year later, and I was like, oh, I see it. I see
absolutely.
Kind of the parallels. And yeah, and it's become kind of a trope in a way of many sort of like neo-Western movies of like Logan. The Obi-Wan series took a page out of this book, yeah, this movie, I think, it's a very high concept sci-fi, if that makes sense, where it's, it doesn't feel like it feels very realistic, very grounded, very lived in, and it's one of those situations where you're watching and you're like, this could happen, I mean, it won't, but like, it feels that way in a sense. And, I really enjoy movies that explore characters that are kind of morally gray as opposed to just black and white. Like, there's the good guy and he's the dick, It's like, Theo, the main guy, is not like a hero. He's tired. He's exhausted. He's acting just kind of out of obligation, not because it's like, it's the decent thing or whatever, is a very flawed character, but I mean, that makes him, I think, more relatable, or not relatable, but more, feel more real in a in a world like this, because let's be honest, if you survive a long time in a post-apocalyptic situation, chances are you're not the best person.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. So, and I really I love a lot of the themes too that this movie explores, like, kind of, like loss of hope, yet people just keep pushing and persisting, and the idea of like protecting something fragile and innocent in a very brutal world, and I think the world is just built so well, not only through not only just visually, but through the characters. you know, you really, I mean, you see it on everybody's faces, like what life is like. And, you know, and I kind of, like that there's not a whole lot of like levity or kind of moments where it's like comedic relief, or, you know, it really leans into kind of the gray, just the dread. And the messages, you know, are like the theme, I guess. It's not like clearly stated. It's more subtly done, which I also appreciate. I also, one other thing, I love the long camera takes that they have sometimes. That doesn't always work in every movie, because usually we're used to shots cutting like every 2 to 3 seconds. But a lot of times I think long takes work especially well in survival type movies, such as this one, The Revenant. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but that movie has some takes that go on 2-3 minutes, but it works really well. And I think it's the case here as well, because it's like it traps you in the chaos, you know, and it forces you to just like sit with it, I guess. Yeah, I think, you know,
What are you rating it?
I will. I think I will give it an A. A minus. A. Maybe.
Just go A, man. Just give it.
The Russian judge is not going to give it an A.
Well, I've given 2.
You can give
I mean,
it, man.
Here's the thing. For me, this is like a 93, 94, like right on the cusp of an A minus. You know.
So an A. Oh crap! There's no middle ground between.
So like third place of all the movies we've done this year.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Scoop, you did join us for this one. What were your thoughts on Children of Men?
I did, thank you. I enjoyed it, and I will say, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the first one that we've done where writers, directors, producers, characters, I didn't recognize a single name. So that was kind of interesting to me as well, because typically it's like, oh, I remember him from this, or oh, I recognize her. She was a writer on AYZ. But yeah, here nothing. Completely new. And also I will say, I don't know if this had to do with the movie. I don't know if this had to do with how I watched it. But my goodness, these subtitles or the closed captionings were horrendous. So I was
my fault. Sorry.
So I was just trying to kind of piece together things at times, because again, some of it, but also like Rob said, there wasn't like like the dialogue at times wasn't like the epicenter of some of it.
No,
so that helped.
Absolutely not.
But so that kind of helped as well. But again, the like you said, now I've heard of the Last of Us video game series. I don't know if it's a trilogy. I think there's 4 of them.
There's only 2 games.
Oh, there's 2. I don't know why.
There's only 2 mainline games.
Okay.
It's okay. PlayStation has weird ones. Either way.
Okay.
Are you thinking of Uncharted? That has 4, and that's the same.
That's what. Yeah. Uncharted has. Well, technically, Uncharted has a sub one. So it's
5 technically.
Yeah.
Well,
4 numbered ones. Anyways.
Okay. Well. Either way, I knew that there were. I knew there were at least 2. I thought that there were more than that. But anyway,
Yeah.
Regardless of like, I know that, but I didn't know. Like,
I need to quickly say, Scoop, you have a PS5. You need to pick up The Last of Us. You have to play those games. You
Okay.
have to. They're
Okay.
amazing.
Right
Okay. Now, if the game
now.
was, because Shane mentioned getting The Last of Us in 2017, would they have one for the PS5?
There is a PS5 version
Yeah.
of both games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to verify that because I heard what you said about that, and I was just like, I don't know if the timeline would match up.
There's a PS5 version of both of the games, both
Okay,
part 1
thank
and
you.
part 2.
All right. This is one where you can play part 1 first, right? It's not like a weird Star Wars type.
You
Anyway,
got to play part 1 first. Yep. Anyway,
Good.
that's the sidebar.
Thankfully. Anyway,
But yeah.
back to the important part. But the story element of it, and of course, just the not just the apocalyptic side, but the where you find out that she's carrying somebody and carrying a child in this sort of like just dearth of fertility period of time, which is existed and lasted.
Yeah.
Existed and lasted is what I was trying to say for that extensive duration. And the element where like some of them were like connected to the fishes, some of them were like straight up in, but like some of them were like connected, but they like and like you were trying to figure out like you said, like I was constantly trying to figure out like, okay, who are the good ones, who are the bad ones, and then you just kind of realize like that doesn't exist here.
It's so muddled.
Yeah, so I eventually my brain kind of stopped trying to focus on that, because I got really confused when they were in the car and the woman like wasn't like moving, and then these guys who came up looking like Squid Games type characters were just like shooting, opening fire, so just getting through that was just, again, it was I don't watch a ton of sci-fi, so this is definitely a new experience for me in a lot of ways. But I definitely enjoyed it. I can't give the the most sci-fi specific and in-depth review on it because again I'm new to the genre. But I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoyed getting to kind of have that sort of experience where it was a different take on not just a different take, but like a different lens through which to watch, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. What are you giving it rating wise?
Rating wise, I forget how I've been doing this. I've been doing this like out of 10, right?
Out of 10, 10 being the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that does letter grades.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna get that hyper sensitive or not sensitive, but like hyper specific. My God, I can't put words together tonight. This is great. Yeah, I'd probably say 7 out of 10. I think it was good enough where like I wouldn't like I don't want to like say like, oh, this is like a 5, but I also just don't. Again, I don't know enough about the genre to kind of know. Okay, did this play the right way it's supposed to, or is this not like whatever? But again, I enjoyed it, like I said, and I am curious when I go and get that background game that you talked about that kind of set this up, or helped spawn the idea for it. I'll be curious to see if I would go back and rewatch it, does it show a different lens, or do I see it through a different light after having played that? Because I didn't realize that there was that to set this up. Otherwise, I might have tried to play it before watching it.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I didn't realize it either, but I'll see.
No, it's back. The movie. This movie was first.
Yeah, the movie was first. So.
Oh,
and then the game came out like
okay, yeah, my
2014 or whatever. No, it's okay. All right, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah. You know what's funny is this movie. Well, not funny. Nothing's funny in this movie. But what kind of just sticks out to me immediately about this movie is it for me. I will say like I think I only gave one movie a 9.5 this year, so I think I'm not gonna give this one 9.5. I'll give this one a 9 off the bat. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'll give it a 9 off the bat. Yeah, I'm just docking it pretty much to half a point because it is a tough watch.
No, it's extremely difficult.
But I like movies that kind of like challenge, your ideas of things like that, challenge the idea of the present versus the future, or hell, the past, present, and future, which this one does, or or the concept of, and it does play a big part in this movie, is the concept of religion, because these people have nothing left to believe in and hope for. So the only thing you see a lot of times in this movie, they do the cross sign on themselves, which is a big part of it. Hell, there's even direct religious imagery, because you have a pregnant woman in the barn, and the first thing that goes through their mind when seeing her pregnant is they say Jesus Christ, and they do even do a cross sign. It's like that's directly
Right.
plays into Christianity, but it's one of those things where it's just it's beautifully done, because you have that moment juxtaposed with literally people carrying guns and things like that outside of the barn, and the action sequences that follow, and it really shows also a fine line between, I guess, well, believers and non-believers, religious for religious reasons and for other reasons. It's really cool that it shows that like people really walk the fine line of morality too, because like we said, all these characters have gray areas. And you really just don't. I mean, you think you know kind of who's good by the end of it, but you really don't. But I remember when Shane told us about this movie. I remember when like I was like, I've never heard of that title. I was like, okay, I know Clive Owen is an actor. I'm like, all right, I've never heard of this, but I'll look at this. And then literally like the 30 seconds into the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this. I did this for a film class back in college. And
The rewatch served you well, it seems like.
yeah, because I knew immediately from the opening scene. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I did this in college. I just didn't remember the name of it. But so yeah, it is a rewatch. And the thing is, with the rewatch, I mean, but college was, I mean, 3.5 years ago, going to be 4 in May, and I watched this sometime, I think, during COVID, so it's probably about 5-ish years ago. So I don't really remember it, even though I did remember by the first few scenes, but I didn't remember everything that happened in it. So it was a rewatch, but it was kind of almost like a first watch again. And I just think that I'm like, as I'm trying to think through this movie, it's the one thing I really like. Well, if there's one thing that's important, and a lot of movies do this, but this one does it, I think, the best as far as I've seen, is that when you have a kind of a bleak, despair, ridden kind of place, post-apocalyptic, sometimes you get characters with, that are surrounded or wear bright colors. Everything in this movie is a dull color, a gray, a navy blue, a black, even the shade of their cars, like faded red, a faded yellow, something like that. So it's really interesting to see that it really paints the picture of how miserable things are. And I believe there's not a single shot in this movie where there's sunlight, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's one when he's driving.
Yeah, but it's
There's
very
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think but most of this movie is obviously cloud and overcast, or rain, or fog.
Well, I mean, part of it is because it's in damn London, and that's all their
Yeah.
weather is.
Yeah, but it does add to the atmosphere of the movie. It's a tough watch, because when you want to watch a movie, you want to be entertained, and it's entertaining. This movie's entertaining because it makes you think. But movies like this, and just like this, I did look this up. This movie at the box office didn't fare well, nor would it. It is a tough watch, but it's just, you have to be a real movie fan, I guess, to watch this movie, like because it does challenge the way you think and perceive the world around you. And hey, this could be a thing that happens somewhere way down the line in the future. This, like it's not super far fetched. So it does kind of challenge your kind of perception of reality and the world around you and what you believe in and what you don't believe in and all these different things and whose side are you on. So it's tough for like as a movie person, it like and how well made it is and how it does do all these things really well. I give it a 9. As like if I was a casual viewer of this, I would probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7, just because it's still a good movie, but it's a really tough watch, and I'm still trying to piece together things in my head. I'm gonna probably remember things as we get off air. I'm like, oh crap, I should have said that on the pod, but
That happens to me every week.
Yeah, but with this movie, it's such like it's kind of an easy movie to follow from start to finish, but the philosophical and theological questions they pose to you throughout the movie, you really have to kind of catch it. Otherwise, you won't get it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes it tough for me. So, like I said, I don't like movies that make you think too much. This one makes me think just enough to where I can still enjoy it. But, I found my brain overheating by a little bit by the end of it. I was like, okay, I'm thinking a little too hard about this. But I still like it. As people that review movies like we do, like I can appreciate it for what it is and how cool it is and how you kind of a unique kind of concept it is. So I give it a 9. But as just a casual movie person, if I was a casual fan, I'd give it like a 6.5 or a 7. So
Yeah. Well, the tough watches aren't going to end there because we're doing September 5 next week. My pick is September 5. It's a thriller, a really tough movie. Shane will like it for the movie aspects, but a big reason why I picked September 5 is because of Brandon and Scoop and your guys' journalism background. Because it's about journalism. So it's about journalism and broadcasting, and obviously I know Shane will find his movie aspects for that. So the tough watches continue at least for another week. It's a brutal one. It is, and I watched it in theater. It's brutal.
I love how he said no more brutal movies for the year, and then you're like, okay, let's do this one. That works.
But this probably will be our last brutal one. But yeah, no, it's brutal. But yeah,
this is the most times that anyone's emphasized how brutal a movie is. So like,
no, it's just brutal. It's brutal. I'm just being real. It is. But before we get there, Children of Man, one of my favorite movies of all time now. Honestly, it's in like it's really there. Good. Like it's a 10. It's going number 1. I'm locking it in. For everything that you guys said, but I think I also found like my favorite genre of movies. Like I really like the thriller kind of lived in. I felt some District 9, Shane. And Brandon, we watched District 9 as well. I forgot we actually did watch it for the show.
Forgot about that.
I felt a little District 9 ish, just aesthetically.
District 9.
It's a great film.
That's a good movie too.
It was in our top 5.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it reminds me so much of it reminds me of the best parts of District 9.
Yeah,
but I think my favorite genre of film is this, like the thriller, the lived-in thrillers that makes you think, that is just intense from start to finish. You're just like, I kind of know how this is going to end, but you kind of don't expect it fully. Like I kind of expected the main character to die, but not in the way that he did. And it's just like, yeah, so that's kind of my overall thing. It was just like my favorite thing about these kind of films is you kind of know the ending like pretty quickly, but the way they get there and the ending itself, you're just like, wow, I was never expecting that in a million years.
So this style of movie is about it's the journey, not the destination. That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's about the journey.
Exactly. 100%. Very well said. And that's how I feel about this. And again, I'm starting to feel like I'm biased towards these movies, but I love them so much. I really do. I just love being on what is a real roller coaster ride, but that isn't like what Martin Scorsese thinks of a Marvel movie. That's like, oh, they're all roller coaster rides, which they are. But this is a roller coaster ride in a way that just feels actually grounded and real and interesting and at times fun, even though it's brutal. And also, guys, it's 2026. This movie's taking place in 2027. Just a fair warning there. But that being said, this is a 10. I love this. This is great. And yeah, this will finish number 1. I don't even think it's close. Yeah, this is great. So
I think that's the third time you said that this year.
It is. Yeah, I gave 3 10s this year. This was an impressive damn list, Shane. This is really good.
All right.
This is really good. But all right, well, that's it. We will not be live on Saturday. We will not be live on Sunday. We'll be here next Monday for Texans at Steelers. We want to finish the week, obviously, because there's no point of doubling up during the weekend. So Monday night after the game, next Monday night, Texans Steelers. We will see you after that for September 5 and previewing the divisional round of games. We'll see you then. For Shane, for Scoop, for Brandon, for myself, Robert, we will see you next Monday night. Peace out, everybody.
See you later, everyone.
There, buddy.